two different platforms. But
Four.
Yes, you're on four.
Yeah, you're on four.
Four.
Hey, everybody.
Great.
Yeah, so welcome to Wine and Real Estate. Tonight we're drinking Carnival. It's a nice wine that one of our partners actually gave us. It's a Cabernet
Sauvignon.
Sauvignon, I think.
From California. Yeah, you should grab the bottle. And Alvin, I think I saw you went shopping today for this event.
Yes. What are you drinking tonight?
So I am drinking a wine from the Douro region in Portugal. It's called Fondres.
Ooh, we love Portugal.
It's a really nice. The region is really beautiful, and also they have some really outstanding wines there, so can't go wrong then. So it's a really good drink that my family and I really like. So yeah, it's been great. So.
Any food suggestions? Oh, you have a good glass too.
Yes.
Let's show that
prepared, right?
Yes, it's nice. We have our cheap Airbnb glasses.
Yes. But the shape makes a big difference in the flavor. Le bouquet, I don't know how you say it in English, aroma or the flavor. So you want to air it out, and you can really swirl.
Yes.
You have like this.
We're gonna swirl. I filled mine to the top. It was necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself for those that are listening and don't know, who is Alvin Wong?
Yeah. So my name is Alvin, and my background is a registered nurse. So my story is that I was working throughout my nursing career to move up as fast as possible. So I really concentrate on it when I move up the ladder in my nursing career. And I finally landed a nice job in the critical care. And that's always been my dream.
Oh, wow.
So I can take care of more patients and just be part of a team that saved a lot of lives. And I was working there for 1 year, and then all of a sudden, I realized that it wasn't something that I can continue on doing, and it was very unfortunate. And I realized that I couldn't stay there any longer, so I did what a lot of people wouldn't do, like find a job first. But I ended up resigning. And so during that time, when I submitted my resignation, when you lose a purpose and a goal, you don't know what else to do next. So I hit really rock bottom, and it's a pretty bad feeling. So I decided to do what I had to do to find another job, and I realized that Ottawa wasn't the area that.
Oh, you were in Ottawa back then.
I was. Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay.
That's you. I'm originally from Ottawa. And so I couldn't find any positions that I was suitable to be in Ottawa. So I decided to look elsewhere, and that's where I landed a position in the bariatric surgery in Toronto.
Cool.
And so during that time, I was just trying to find my new why, my new purpose. And I was in Ottawa packing, and here's this book that was left standing in my bookshelf, dusted. I've always wanted to read, and that's Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Oh wow! What a coincidence!
It's if anything, Rich Dad Poor Dad changed all of our lives, and especially entrepreneurs and real estate investors. So it really taught me the aspect of what's liability and what is an asset. So I really revamped my financial statements, and I realized that at that time my stocks was just not good. It was just it was terrible. So I decided to look for other investment vehicles. I went on this path, a journey to find the financial vehicle that can help me grow, and that's when real estate came in. And like many other novice investors, I've been doing a lot of watching a lot of podcasts, YouTube, just to educate myself. And eventually, you hit a break wall that you cannot go any more further. You don't know how to take massive action. And so that's where I started to decide to network with other investors. And it's just so happened so I was really fascinated by one investor. His name is Austin Gay.
Yeah.
And he's a brilliant guy. Young, 25 at that time, and he already had more than 12 properties.
Wow.
And so I reached out to him, just asking him for advice, how do I take massive action? I don't want to be stuck where I'm always afraid of buying real estate. I don't know where to start, where to begin. So we had a great chat, and he directed me to my current coach, who I'm still with. His name is Corey McKinnon.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Corey's awesome. I don't know him personally, but we should interview him at some point.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He was great learning from him, and yeah, he's very humble guy. So I got into Corey's coaching program, and since then I've just been under his. He took me under his wing and showed me the ropes, and never looked back since. Yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome. What a great story. I mean, you have this passion about caring for people, obviously, because you're a nurse. And then are you still nursing, or are you just doing real estate?
So I'm doing both.
Oh, wow.
I'm still a nurse. I work in the bariatric surgery. And on my days off, I do real estate. So doing a little both of everything. Yeah.
Are you like on permanent full time or on call? Because we have one of our friends who's a nurse, and she's just on call, so she's really winding down the nursing and ramping up the real estate. So
it's definitely, at first I tried full time doing 2 jobs in Toronto, but and once I started to realize how night shift and day shift looking back and forth, it's really slowing down my real estate. So I tried to put on part time with my initial job that I got in Toronto, the bariatric surgery. And so I just since then just been doing picking up hours, have the capability to do it. So it's kind of at the same time a little bit full time as well too.
Oh wow, that's a lot on your plate.
Yes.
It's definitely, you need a lot of good time management, and you need to really juggle really well. I mean, you learn from it, Try to balance it. And the job I took, it's a very stable hours, so it allows me to have weekends off to do what I have to do for real estate. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So I've noticed while seeing you on social media that you are pretty hands-on. You kind of get your hands, you seem to get your hands dirty, and kind of do things on your own. You want to talk a little bit more about that?
So what I've been doing is doing a lot of delegation and creating a system. And that's the one thing that I've learned from Corey, is that you need to build a system so that you don't need to do quite the opposite, like don't do too much hands-off, because as real estate investor, you should be focusing on something to grow your specialty. In my situation is finding deals, finding how to execute the strategy of your choice, and build relationships with not just your tenants, but also build relationship with their power team, and also network with other investors. So these are like what I should be concentrating. So I know there's a lot of people that does hands-on experience with renovation, things like that. I personally haven't been too crazy on that. I've just been delegating to general contractors and delegating a lot of my power team to take on most of the work, so I can focus on concentrating what I just told you, like finding deals.
Oh, that's cool. So what's your meat and potatoes real estate investing strategy?
Buy and hold, the Burr. What's this?
Yep, that's right. I think for all novice investors, the Burr strategy, buy and hold, is really, really good. The concept of it, the strategy behind it is very simple to understand. So that's why I chose the Burr strategy as my first bread and butter. And later on, who knows, down the road I might try different strategies like flips, and probably do like rent to own, something like that. But for now, I'm sticking to one strategy just to get better at it. And so so I can eventually one day execute other strategies as well too. Yeah.
That's so smart to really master one strategy and then move on to the next.
Yeah, you don't want to be a jack of all trades, master of none, which I love trying everything and then I master nothing. So it's very good.
Ross is the master of mastering nothing.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. I was telling Corey, like when I first started, he asked me, what kind of strategy do you know and what do you want to do? And I told him I want to do everything.
Yes.
And he was just like, no, don't do that.
No, bad idea. I know, you get scattered, and that's what we're doing. We're going through right now is refining. We're selling off properties that don't fit our model anymore, and just just refocusing. But if you do it from the get go, that's much better because there's capital gains
is necessary.
and learning from your mistakes, and that's really cool. How does your family feel about this?
Well, I can't lie. They're always been very supportive, and they are still very supportive. But I think as a loving parent, they always want to make sure that you know what you really want. So in the beginning, they're like, you know what, we support whatever you do, but just be careful. They always have to, they always squeeze and just be careful. I mean, I do appreciate where they're coming from, but I just felt like just a boost of confidence that being in a really great network, being in a great network of all the badass investors. I'm also in your network as well too, so I know that I can turn to any of you guys for help when anything happens. And also, I had a coach, Corey, looking out over me as well too, so I was very confident. So I think when I expressed my confidence and I showed what I was capable of doing, my parents started to really let me do whatever I want. And ever since I picked up 1 and 2 properties, they're totally okay, just do whatever you want. So I'm really excited because after the second property I got, and they heard that I was going to get the third one, they're like, well, just so you know that we're also very interested in what you're doing. So make sure you have enough room for mortgage so you can work with us.
That's cool. So your parents will end up working with you eventually. That's awesome.
Yeah, we have a side talk about what we're going to be doing with the Ottawa property that they have. So I'm trying to utilize everything what I've learned so far, and I'm hoping down the road as I know a little bit more about different strategies, I can help them with still keep the property at the same time, see if we can create to a rental income so they can not just live off their pensions, but they can also have aside a little bit more income using their house.
Because you need it in 2021. You can't live on just a regular salary. That's kind of why we started doing it. We're work. I could get 4 jobs and it's still expensive. So this is a great way of creating income it's a lot of efforts, but after a while it becomes, like you said, systems, it becomes more automated, and then the money does come in. It's not easy, but it becomes easier. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, with my parents, their house is in Ottawa, so I always have a place to go there. But I'm just the structure of it is it can easily turn into secondary conversion.
Wow.
They're very interested in that strategy, but I need a little bit more experience before I can do something like that. So looking forward.
Yeah. Well, zoning and bylaws and all kinds of rules, but that's an excellent challenge at some point. And it's good to be holding that property until the right time comes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, with Ottawa, that's growing really exponentially. It's very suitable for where their condition is. So
Absolutely, that's awesome. So, what markets are you focusing on?
Yeah, so my originally where I started my very first property is in Windsor, and just recently on on March. So I acquired a property in October, and I pivoted to another place, which is in Sudbury, on March.
Oh, yeah.
So it's great. Now I have 2 cities I'm very familiar with, and I can dabble between those 2 markets whenever I see a great deal and just move on it. Yeah, take a move.
Yeah.
But a jump though, how did you go from Windsor to Sudbury?
Yeah, so with Windsor, the market is getting excruciating hot.
Yeah.
And as you know, my strategy is Burr, so it's getting. Not saying that it's difficult, but it is a challenge. And you can still do Burr in Windsor, but it's getting a little bit tougher. So what I've done is just to make some more flexibility. I decided to pivot my strategy to Sudbury. And Sudbury's also getting up there as well too.
Yeah.
But you're still able to find deals there, and you still be able to at least do a Burr, at least close, if not Burr, at least close to a Burr. And so that's exactly what happened with my property in Sudbury. It's not a complete Burr, but it's at least close to, like, I have $6,000 tied in. That's close to it. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah.
That's not much.
Yeah, exactly. So those are my two cities I'm focusing on. I'm more concentrated on Sudbury, but I haven't left Windsor, so I'm always peeking around Windsor just to see if I can find deals there. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I heard on the radio on my way in tonight, Robert Hogue, the chief economist at RBC, said markets in Canada are slowing down. So, like, I don't know, sales are down 7%. So that's really good news for us.
Yeah,
that means we're going to be able to buy very shortly, hopefully at a good price.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I've been hearing that there's some, exactly what you're saying. I believe it's also like throughout the whole Canada, right? We're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
All of Canada, most markets.
Yeah. So I was talking to a realtor in Sudbury, and they were saying, like, there is, it's still good, the market, but they noticed that, the bidding war is like that. It's been a little bit less now, so that's
good news.
It's good news. We can pick up more properties.
Well, it just didn't make sense anymore. And like you said, the Burr, you need that lift. You need, 30% increase or something to be able to refinance, pull your money out. And if you pay like 130% already, no matter what you do, you can't refinance. Can't
get all your money out.
Exactly.
And appraisers were having trouble appraising houses, and then the Burr is even worse because you're adding money and value, and then you need to jack it up even more. So you need to be very strategic about it.
Yeah, exactly. And also, like, with my situation, I'm still refinancing my Sudbury property. I was just talking to an investor the other day. They were asking me what's the holdup. For those who don't know, like, I think it's one of their strategies to try to cool it down. Banks are getting really tight, and we all know what happened on June the 1st. The stress test increase, so that's another strategy they're trying to cool it down. But the appraisers are afraid to make it too high as well too, and the refinancing process is taking forever. It seems like forever,
Yeah, because it's not a priority. They want to get people into houses, which I agree with. I mean, during the pandemic and stuff, you want housing first, not investors, but it still sucks for us.
I know, it still sucks. Like, I was on the road, I was on pace to get my third property, and all of a sudden this dropped. So now it's like, it slows me down a bit, but I had fun. Like, I had a appraiser came in, and so I got my property in Sudbury. It's a semi-detached for $239K, and just for fun, I had an appraiser come in, and it was appraised for $330K. So
wow,
that was very impressive. But when it came down to signing papers, it was like it was fixed, so I had to reject it. I'm a variable guy, so.
Yeah.
So you said that you focus on Sudbury and Windsor, and you're doing the Burr buy and hold.
Yeah, that's right.
Are you focusing on single family or multifamily, or doesn't matter, and why?
Yeah, so my main original strategy was getting multifamily properties, and that's how I got with my Windsor. Mm-hmm. But it's funny because when I got into Sudbury, I was telling my realtor, okay, no matter what, I need to get a multifamily home. And he's like, well, why? He's like, this is my strategy. But then he got deeper and he was like, well, is it necessary? What if I told you you can convert a single family home? In my case, it's a semi-detached. He told me well, there's a semi-detached here, it's a really beautiful area in E+ neighborhood, and you can in Sudbury you can have a granny suite, in-law suite, all the same thing, secondary suite, Mm-hmm. And he showed me the numbers, and I was like, so if I can get a single family home and have a secondary unit, the granny suite in this case, and have another tenant in there, then I'll be even cash flowing even more. And also, because it's an A+ neighborhood, how can I go wrong with that? So I decided to just pivot my strategy. It's still following the same principle. It's not a multi-family home by classification, but you're adding another unit in there to have more cash flow. And so, just not a bad idea to try this strategy out. And because, and also like I was saying in Ottawa, my parents are my house. Eventually, I want to create that secondary unit. So I might as well learn this.
Yeah. Why not?
Awesome.
Yeah.
No,
Exactly. So it was like a cosmetic, strategic renovation involved. And I only put down like 22 or 23K into the renovation, just only like the basement was the most work into it. And then next thing you know, like 330K. So
major lift. Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you finance these deals? So you mentioned you only put 20K down, stuff like that. Do you work with regular banks or private lenders? What's your strategy behind this, if you don't mind sharing?
No, not at all. So far, I've been using 3 lenders. So just your regular banks, Scotia, RBC, and all those guys. I've been using my capital that I've saved up, and also like when I got down to Sudbury, I was waiting for most of the refinance from my Windsor, and so I had to borrow some money from my parents and just to get this property in Sudbury. So I'm still waiting for the refinance of my Windsor. My Windsor was only half refinanced because what happened was the top level was refinanced, the bottom level had a tenant in there. This week they're leaving, so I'll be doing renovations there and then get the last half of the refinance for that.
Okay.
So by then I will have more equity and I can recycle the money and to get my third property.
Do you do the mortgage plus then, like the mortgage with the renovation money in it, or how?
Oh, sorry, got cut off there. What was it, first one?
Do you do? I've heard some investors say they do I think it's mortgage plus, so mortgage plus some renovation money from the bank, or do you get a regular mortgage, put in your own funds, then refinance and pull out your money?
Yeah, so that's exactly what I did. I got the mortgage, did all the Burr strategy, and just after that, just go out, refinance. Yeah, just
Okay, cool. And do you ever see the properties? Do you drive down to visit them, or?
So in the beginning, I was doing a lot of that.
Yeah.
So in Windsor got to be the best learning spot. Like your first property is the best way to learn. So I did everything that I shouldn't be doing. So I've been driving there a lot until I finally said, I told Corey one time, I said, I'm tired of like driving all that. At first it was fun, it was awesome, road trip. But then it gets really, really difficult. Like Windsor's like 3 hours and 45 minutes. And living in Toronto, driving back and forth, like it gets ridiculous. So, and Corey was just like, I was waiting for when you would tell me when you said it.
That's a good coach.
So Corey was like, now I'm going to teach you to build a system where you don't go there often. So that's exactly what happened. It was like sharpen the saw, really train my mindset. And so what happened is for my Sudbury property, I literally didn't set foot into the property. It was just my realtor using his iPhone and just do the walkthrough and send it to me. And I'm like, yep, you know what? I trust you. I like this property and I see the numbers make sense. Let's pull the trigger. And that's exactly what happened. And since then, I cut down my travel costs. I do all Zoom. I do all like WhatsApp video chat with all my general contractors, my trade workers, and I don't really need to step foot into the city. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I find your contractors appreciate that as well. That you're not like it's okay at first you're learning, but you're not watching them. There's that trust and that confidence that you build with them, and then like our guys, we were saying hi. I don't know if they're still on, but in Moncton, and I just trust them. I ask them, oh, what should we do? And they tell me, and I'm like, perfect, let's do it. Exactly. Not blind trust, but I've seen their work and I've seen what they do. And I'm sure you build that trust. That's the power team. Yeah, I rely on you. If I'm successful, you're successful. I have money to keep paying you, so I can keep hiring you. So
it's the circle of life.
Yeah, it's the circle of real estate.
Exactly. Well, you build a relationship with them, right? And they also, like you say, they appreciate it. And they also generally want to help you so that they can also not only build relationship but also develop a business around you as well. Because we're investors, we're not just looking for one property. We're looking for more down the road, right? So it's perfect that we can develop. It benefits both sides. It's like a mutual agreement, and also we're helping each other grow our businesses together.
Absolutely.
That's funny. We think it's the same way.
Equanimity.
So just to break it down for people who may not know your strategy, Burr is buy, renovate, rent, refi, and repeat.
Correct.
So what would be your top 3 most important things to do when you're doing the Burr strategy? What should you look for?
What do I look like, as in what do I do when I first step foot into the property? How I see it?
Yeah, just kind of run through it. What's the most important things you should look for when you're doing a Burr?
Yeah, so definitely from the beginning, right? So definitely like to see that the property is able to have a facelift so that I can grow. I can when I refinance it, so that I can pull as much money as possible. So that at the end of the day, when you do the numbers, the perfect Burr will be no money tied into the property.
Yeah.
So you need to have some way to create a driving force to uplift it, force appreciate it. So I'll be looking for properties that are more rundown. But I've been very fortunate to be able to see properties that are rundown enough to do cosmetic lift. So just minor touch ups, just enough to do what the appraiser would see as important. Because at the end of the person you need to really get brownie points from is not from the bank, it's actually the appraiser.
Yes, that's a huge, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. So what the appraiser sees is what the bank wants to hear, because the bank's not going to send someone there personally. They're going to send a private outsourced appraiser going there. So you need to understand this appraiser, what they want to hear, what they want to see. So I know everyone's different, but most appraiser likes to see good bathroom, good kitchen, good living space, a nice paint job, new flooring. So I try to see the value of this property run down that I can fix these areas. And when I do, also it helps build relationship with appraisers as well too. So find the appraiser that has good relationship with you, and also find an appraiser that is that's very open to any suggestions. And so that's exactly what I do. I build not just network, but also look at the property if I can do minor touch-ups on it without keeping the cost down for the renovation. Cheaping out is not a good idea. Sometimes you need to spend a lot. I would really suggest spending a lot in flooring, because they're easy to break, because you're walking on it, you're banging on it. If there's kids, and they'll be jumping on it. So just really spend some money on these areas, and spend a good chunk of money into areas that the appraiser will see value to it as well too. And so ARV, very big one. Find comps. Make sure that the property that you're investing into at least close to the ARV that you predict that will give you all the money back for return when you refinance it. Yes.
That's great. Good advice for people who are thinking about doing the Burr strategy.
Yeah. So, and what I get from this as well is you don't want to buy a place that's covered in mold, or you need to, I don't know, invest in a furnace and windows and structural and roofing, because that's where all those costs add up. But they don't really add to the value. Yes, they preserve the value, but they don't increase the value. If you change the furnace, there's a furnace. There was a furnace already. So what you're saying is increasing finishes, updating, like you said, kitchens, bathrooms, flooring, cosmetic, making it look wow, and what's their resale value, I guess. So how do you get in touch with appraisers? In Ottawa, we have a house. I called all kinds of companies. No one's getting back to me, but I guess it was the date. So June 1st was a bad date. But what's your tip? How do you get in touch with an appraiser?
Yeah, so I'll use my both of my appraisers that I built a really good relationship with. They actually came from my mortgage broker.
Okay, cool.
So that's my very first step, is to get, because what happened is the mortgage broker does a lot of helping you get the finances going, right? So they see a lot of appraisers coming in and out from from the firms, and so they're able to like have a sense, a general idea how genuine these appraisers are and how approachable they are. And so like I developed a relationship with these appraisers through my mortgage broker, and it also I know that I preach don't go to the site too often, but if there's anything that to solidify the relationship, is always in person.
Yeah.
But so I always try to be present when I meet the general contractor the first time and also appraiser the first time.
Yeah, you're really adding value there. You're starting off on the right foot, making sure everything's clear, like the wall goes here, not there.
Yeah, exactly. So after you solidify that relationship with the general contractor and the appraiser, like these people will be, if you can continue using them, they're going to be lifer and they're going to be bending backwards over you. So that's exactly what happened with my example from Sudbury. Yes, I almost got my refinance, but because I developed that really strong relationship with that appraiser, I've been just texting her, just telling her, hey, listen, like I'm gonna go for another, like I'm just gonna go, like if I ever need your help for other like investment, probably can you be there? Like, and she'll be like, yeah. She literally just told me like, just send me a message and do my very best to squeeze you into my pile of like refinance I can do. So that's the thing. Like what people don't know is that appraiser has a stacked pile of papers that they need to go through. And if you develop good relationship with that person and you have like a good chemistry with them and they know they'll bend over backwards, they will literally squeeze you in somehow. And that's exactly what these two appraisers will be doing. And they literally told me that. So I'm really happy about that. Yeah.
Well, that's what we're lacking.
Yes, or you could just send them some wine.
Yeah, bribe them with wine. That's probably illegal.
Yes, no, I'm not suggesting you do that. There you go. Cheers.
Yeah, have a sip.
I can't forget about my wine.
So you're such a young guy, so ambitious. What's next for you? What are you hoping to accomplish, like within the next year?
Well, so I'm going to obviously continue executing the Burr strategy. I do want to pick up some more property, so I am hoping that at least 2 houses per year. But my goal in 5 years, is to get 10 properties. So if I could do 2 properties per year, I'll reach that goal. And, so I do want to, but obviously, I'm always trying to push myself. And that's a good thing about having a coach, like Corey. He's always like saying 2 properties, like, he's like, why don't we aim for another one? I'm like, what? So he's like, yeah. So I think it's doable, if the refinance goes through, I'll be able to push more for the property, before 10 years old,
That's totally achievable. 10 properties in 5 years. I think that's a great goal.
Yeah. So excited for that.
And it's good too, like I hear some people like they go wild and say I want 100 or 1,000, like that's something I would say, unfortunately. Yeah. And then sometimes you're disappointed, like after a few weeks, oh, I didn't buy one, it's been a few weeks. So it's good to have reasonable goal because you're working as well. So that's something else to consider. And financing, you're self-financing, so that's also really cool. If you were using like private funds, then you can look at different things. So
it's more complicated though.
Yeah.
It adds a layer. So now you're your own boss, and that's amazing. So
absolutely. Yeah, thank you. And eventually, like I don't want to journey this journey alone. So I would really like to start sharing some of my strategies with other people, help them out, get them started in real estate. Or like if they're comfortable to partner with me and then we just joint venture to find cash flow properties. Like these are some of the next thing I'm thinking about as well too. Because it gets lonely down the journey, so it's nice to always have a partner and things like that.
You make a great point because I think that a great way to coach people is doing a joint venture because they'll learn the whole process with you and get half of the profit. So I think it's a great way to
grow. I see our friends from the Finley team said hi. Hey guys.
Hello.
So Alvin, do you work with them? Unfortunately, we don't have properties in Ontario much right now, but we'd love to work with them and at some point. Who's your mortgage agent? Or if you don't mind giving names.
Yeah, not at all. So my mortgage agent, so I have with the Sudbury group.
Okay.
That's Jacob Press team.
Cool. No, I've never heard
of them.
So he's based in Hamilton, Ontario. So
cool.
He's a real estate focused investor. So that's another good thing, when I find like our teams, at least they have some concept of what my strategy is. So it's easier for our discussion and at least know what I'm trying to do at least, and also offer feedback if I steer off course or maybe experience that they have. And Jacob's a very experienced investor. His team is also very investor focused as well too. So he's really set up his team in the mortgage business to help investors. So that's one person.
That's the key. You need to be surrounded by investor-focused people because they, like you said, they understand your goals and what you're trying to do, your objectives, and they know you're going to push the boundaries. I'm sure you've asked for things, and they're like, "This is
not difficult." You don't want to talk to a mortgage broker that thinks that Burr is something that you put on pizza. Like you have to really make it feel that.
Exactly. Yeah,
I know what it is.
I think I've gone through, that's another thing. When you find your buyer team, you gotta really screen a lot of people. You can't just find one person, just hope for the best. That you're setting up yourself for failure. And so always screen a lot of people. So with myself, for instance, my general contractor, I was choosing, I had 5 or 6 of them. I don't remember, but 5 or 6 around there.
Wow.
I was interviewing 5 or 6 people in Windsor, and I just came across one general contractor that's just focused heavily on growing his business and helping only investors. And also himself, he invests as well. And he has quite an extensive portfolio. So I was like, okay, well, he knows what I'm trying to do. So if he wants to renovate without my permission, he's doing it because he knows that would drive that force. And sometimes I walk in there and I'm like, why is the kitchen this way? Because it will drive, Alvin.
Wow. Okay, that's good.
So especially I was very new and that was my first property. So it was nice to have him to tell me what needs to be done to have the appraiser love it and appraise it to a high price. That's why it's when you first start off, I think it's very important to find someone that's investor friendly, investor focused.
Yeah, and that's something really important. Like you mentioned, this is not your dream home. So a lot of people, would you live there? Okay, that's fine, and that can be good, but you have to be careful not to overly personalize the property. Let's say you love this blue granite. Well, some people may just hate blue. So you have to stay kind of neutral. There's all kinds of different things that you can do. So that's great. You had someone guiding you through that.
Exactly.
It might also be a property that you can't put granite in. So it's good to have a contractor that you're working with that will say, oh, no, I don't think that this property is...
Can support granite. Maybe structurally or financially. Maybe there's many reasons. So...
I'm glad you could say that too, because when I first got into real estate investment, I was doing the renovation piece, HTTV, they inspired all of us to really make everything fancy. So I'm just like, okay, I want a granite type. I remember telling my contractor, and he was like, don't do that.
No, that's it.
That's a good contractor.
It's a rental. I mean, it depends on your rental market. And HGTV, let's make it open concept. Let's rip out all the walls. So that's great. But then the plumbing stacks need to move and the electrical, and it just adds up on. And then structurally as well. So our investor says HGTV is a budget killer. Absolutely, yes. It's so much fun though. Let's open interior to exterior. Why not? These crazy doors, patio doors with 8 panels, why not? But it doesn't work. It's gonna freeze in Ottawa, and then you can't open it. And anyway,
exactly.
They're selling a dream.
They're selling, totally the dream. Even the driveways, you push a button and it melts instead of shoveling. I mean,
that would be a nice dream.
Yeah, it's a nice dream.
Right. And If you're a flipper, I know that renovation is a little bit better. You have
Yes.
so maybe the HGTV. I mean, then again, I'm not that's not my primary strategy yet, but I know that you have to have a little bit nicer compared to what I'm doing.
Yeah, because you're selling a dream home. Like now you're talking to tenants and the appraisers. That's a different clientele. And the appraiser will be very rational because he or she is talking to the bank, the lender, while this is very different. So we have another comment. Hi, Alvin and Francois and Jen, 3 of my favorite people. Yay! Woohoo! Yeah, we need to have you on, Esther, for an update on what you're doing. She's killing it as well.
She is killing it.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love her Instagram feed right now. It's
cute.
So we were talking a little bit about dreams, and I think that a lot of people talk about their why, but the why really is your dream. What's your dream? What are you like? Real estate is a vehicle, right? It's not just are you just dreaming of drinking more of this? Yes. What's your dream, Alvin? What are you hoping to achieve because of real estate?
Yeah, so I've been thinking about this quite a lot, and I feel like talk a little bit of why a lot and all that stuff. I'll dive into the dream, but there's another aspect to it. The dream is to really want to I want to really help my family.
Oh, that's nice.
My sister has she also lives in Toronto, and we all know how excruciating the prices are in Toronto.
Yes,
mortgage is really it's quite difficult. If anything, I think it's fair to say. And so, I mean, she just recently gave birth to my niece. So, so she has 2 kids now. So you have 2 kids. You live in one of the most expensive city. So it can be a little bit challenging for my sister. So it'd be nice to find a way to help her. I try to help out my parents as well too. I'm in healthcare, so I'm always thinking about elderly and health and all that stuff. So I'm always thinking about my health as well too. So with my parents are aging, so I need to find something to help them as well too. As you age, we both know, you and I know Francois, you have experience in retirement homes as well too.
Yes.
So we know that how heavy the healthcare system can cost for elderly.
Yeah.
So I need to find a way. I need to find a way to help my parents to cover that cost. Yes, they keep telling us that don't be worried. We have pension and all that stuff, but let's be honest here, inflation's
at $10,000-$12,000 a month, it adds up, and that's now. In the future, who knows where it's going to be? So
exactly, and with the pandemic and everything, let's be honest here, if there's going to be inflation after the pandemic, if you get out of this too, So, I mean, I'm always concerned about their living style, their living, and their health. So I'm going to be using that as a vehicle to really help out. So,
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's nice to have flexibility, and we like to say this a lot. Having that flexibility, that freedom, using the financial. Yeah, exactly. So I would really like to travel more, see more, take care of my health. I really want to have that. I'm already working with a personal trainer, but it would be nice to have them 7 days.
On call. Hey, I need to do a workout.
Exactly. So I'm always thinking about this. So having a good investment vehicle, it's going to help you in the long run, and you'll be living more comfortably. That's what exactly I want to do. Yeah.
That's excellent. Wow.
That's an awesome dream, helping out your sister and your parents. Would you like to adopt?
Yeah, can we be your kids?
I'm pretty sure we're older than you, but it's okay.
Yeah, we could be mom and dad.
You're setting yourself up really well too. You both are investors. We both we're all like-minded people. We all have the same thing at the end goal. Mm-hmm. And I just have to say you both are inspirational. You guys. When the minute I heard people retire from the day job, I'm just like, oh, this is exactly what my end goal is as well too. So with nursing, I would like to be part of it, but as I work longer in this real estate investment, I noticed that having both jobs both.
It's hard.
It's getting challenging. Just the fact that even with myself, with not considered full time, but just balancing nursing and also real estate is quite challenging. So eventually, as my portfolio goes, either I drop down to casual nursing, or I completely, out of nursing as well too. So haven't got there yet, but something to think about. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had an amazing interview not a few weeks ago. Jacqueline Marshall from Baywap Design. She's on Instagram, and she was a dental hygienist.
Oh wow!
And kind of like you, she went down, and now she gave up her license or whatever you call it. She can't do it anymore, and now she's full on real estate investor. And I think it's so great. She's like that freedom to do whatever she wants, and she takes the summers off, and it's like a teacher. Maybe if Esther's still listening, she's like a teacher. Better than a teacher. She can pick, like, have winter off and do different things. So that's like your parents. Let's say I hope they're never sick, but let's say they're sick. Well, you can just go in and just help out, like retirement homes. I saw a lot of kids having to take time off to help their parents transition. Well, that's not everybody that can do it, so it's huge. So kudos. And
let's face it, like the nursing career, like we absolutely need nurses. They're so vital to our health system, but it's an exhausting career. Like,
it's hard.
I can't imagine doing that full time.
And imagine emergency nurses, or even surgery. That's not easy. And you see all kinds of things, and
when people are sick, they're at their worst too. Like, you must have horror stories.
It's definitely a very interesting career. You see all walks of life, and when you see all walks of life, there are many like good and also bad stories. So horror stories are one of them. So it's some of them can lose people's appetite. So.
We won't go into that.
Exactly. We'll definitely stick to real estate.
Yes.
So thank you so much for taking the time to share your story with us. And do you have any final word of advice, something you want to share with our audience?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I was sharing most of the time, I'm just a regular person. I have a nursing background. I have no finance. I didn't study any finance or actuary courses. I mean, if I can do it, like really anyone can do it as well too. It's just, I think the secret sauce of anything is grit, grind, hustle. When you get into real estate investing, it's not going to be sunshine and rainbows.
No.
At the end of the tunnel, it's very rewarding. And I tell this to a lot of novice investors who reach out to me. There's a reason why it's called a journey, because throughout that journey, there's good and there's bad. But the main difference is you're appreciating every single aspect of that part in your journey in real estate. The good, obviously, you can't go wrong with that. But the bad one is where you actually learn from it and you understand why you went through it, and also when you learn from it, you appreciate it so that you don't make the same mistake, and it makes it more fruitful and you really enjoy it. So that's my take home. Enjoy the journey, take massive action, and I'm a regular person. Just on the street walking, when you bump into me, if I can do it, anyone can do it. Yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So you're also an inspiration. That's so great. Average people, it's regular people doing something unusual, something different, and that's how you get ahead, and persistence. And of course, I mean, it's a lot of work, but it's just taking the risk. So that's awesome.
Yes. How can people get a hold of you, Alan, if they'd like to reach out and learn more about what you're doing, or maybe JV with you?
So I mean, I'm always on Instagram, so you can find me. It's just as Alvin Wong. So I mean, very simple, so that people can find me if they need to. So drop me a message, DM me, whatever you like to do, and I'm happy to chat up, talk about real estate.
That's awesome. That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I do have to say, you both are inspiration. I tell this to all my Ottawans. It's always nice to. I was so excited when I met you, Francois, and also you, Jennifer. Like, just knowing that you guys are from Ottawa, it just reminds me home. And I get really excited when, especially investors, so it's nice to see that. And you guys are doing so well, and I've been following your journey as well.
Oh, that's so cool. Thank you so much, Alvin. It's really an inspiration to talk with such a young investor and hear your story.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice evening and cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, my wine's all gone. It was such a good.
He didn't pace himself.
No, I just kind of. So enjoy the journey. See, yes. I need to learn.
Enjoy the wine. Enjoy the journey.
Cheers, everybody, on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. We went all out, and
yes,
2 monitors. It's kind of hard to, but it's fun. So we'll have to catch up again and see you in a few months or years, and when you're at 10 or 20 or 30 properties, and let's stay in touch.
Yeah, anytime. And you know what? When I'm around, hopefully we can I know it's social distance, but for now, we'll just catch up somehow outdoor or something.
Yeah, absolutely on the patio.
We'd love that.
Good.
Take care.
Thanks, Alvin.
Bye.
Thank you for having me.